Here we go, guys. I'd like to call to order the City Council meeting November 21st, 2024, 501 Main Street at 5:30 PM. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a roll call?
Crenshaw,
Here.
Walker,
Here.
Garcia,
Here.
Ackley,
Here.
Jade, Andrews,
Here.
Tillman,
Here.
Bryant,
Here.
Greenwald,
Here.
all present.
Item number 4, Mayor's Correspondence. Friday, November 22nd, 2024, the Keokuk Christian Academy is having their fundraiser spaghetti supper starting at 5 p.m. at 528 Hilton Road, and Lucky's at 528 Blonda will have live music by Jared Harness from 7 to 10 p.m. Saturday, November 23rd, 2024, Dungeons and Dragons group will be at the Keokuk Public Library at 11 a.m., and they invite you to come and play and learn. Item number 2 is Paint and Sip at the Heart and Soul Designs at 401 Main Street at 4:30 p.m. Keokuk Yacht Club will be having their turkey shoot starting at 6 o'clock p.m. with bingo and paddleboard, and the Festival of Trees will be hosted by the Keokuk Art Center at the Keokuk Union Depot. Live and silent auctions and refreshments. I have a letter that was sent to the city to be read. It's Dear Mayor Mahoney and Council, I want to take a moment and offer on behalf of the district our formal thanks for all the time and consideration that went into approving the variance sought by the district to install bleachers at the tennis courts. This addition will bring us to the conclusion of Phase 1 of renovations to our athletic facilities at Keokuk Senior High School. We take pride in our ability to provide opportunities to our students and the community and appreciate the city's partnership as we continue to work to improve facilities. It was also a treat for me to be able the witness of the swearing in of Mr. Bellegarde and Assistant Chief Whitaker and the celebration of city workers who have given so many years of the service of Keokuk. Well done, my best, Kathy Dinger, Superintendent, City of Keokuk School System. Real quick, the City of Christmas will be opening. Yay, yay, yay. One of the best things in the community. We all know that. It will open the day before Thanksgiving for a walkthrough from 5 to 7. And then not Christmas Day, I'm sorry, Thanksgiving Day for a walkthrough. And then Thanksgiving Day from 6 to 10 p.m. it'll be open. And then after that, most of the time it's open from 5 to 10 p.m. Remember that when you go through there, there is a place to give a donation, and they run on donations so that it isn't charged. So even if you go through 10 times, it's nice to throw a little money in there. Before we head into the meeting, I would like to make a request to the public. I don't often like to bring up anything negative, so I will try to do this as positively as possible. Over the past few weeks, there have been great volunteers setting up the City of Christmas in Rand Park. There has also been some vandalism already. If you know of anyone who's doing this, please let the Keokuk Police Department know. If it is kids, parents, please express to your kids that this is costly to the city, it is a crime, and if they get caught, they will be prosecuted. The City of Keokuk brings in thousands of people every year to the City of Christmas brings in thousands of people every year to our community. They shop at our businesses and eat and drink at our restaurants. We are widely known throughout the tri-state area for our display, and people come from all over to drive through it. It is free to the public and an amazing sight to see. So please, please, please encourage people to stop the vandalism. With the holidays also coming next Saturday, November 30th, 2024, is Small Business Saturday. I encourage you to shop in Keokuk first, find what you can here before heading out to other communities, and as always, eat, drink, and shop local. Kindness matters, and of course, happy Thanksgiving. Item number 5, citizens' request. During citizens' request, if you have something that you would like to share with us or a question, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and please, no more than 3 minutes each.
3 minutes, huh? I'm Teresa Murray. I live at 15 Hilton Road Lane. I'm here as the Keokuk Saddle Club president. I kind of want to give you guys an update of how the year went for us. This was our grand opening year. We had our grand opening in June. It went great. It was beyond expectations of what the club thought. Just in a few of our events, we had over 500 entries. We did sponsor a few things. This year we had a 4-H group come. What we did is I rounded up as many people as I knew that were, of course, I'm in the horse community. I know a lot of horse show judges. We sponsored 4-H kids to come, and these judges help them learn what the judges are looking for at their county fair, their state fair. And we had kids from Clark County, from over in Illinois, from Van Buren County, and of course, Lee County. And then the other thing is we have contacted Brett Martin with the Keokuk High School FFA leader. And we told him if there's anything that you would like us to help with, you need a location to hold anything. I know I've discussed a few things about a farm day. We did also work at the Keokuk Fright, the Rand Park Fright Fest. Our club members gave pony rides. And one thing when we're giving them pony rides that I hear from a lot of kids, first time they've ever been on a horse, first time they've touched a horse. So I feel like we need to have like a farm day, because it amazes me. We live right here in the Midwest, and a lot of kids have never touched an animal. So I'm kind of working on that. We're in the early stages of planning that, and we're kind of wondering if we could do something with the FFA, but we'll report back on that later. Another thing is we're building a sponsorship board out there at the arena. And so right now, if you can buy a square, and it's $125 for the first year, and it's a yearly sponsor board, and then it's $100 every year thereafter. If you would like anybody, business, it can be a private name. If anybody's interested, just let me know. In February, we will start our yearly license raffle that we do. In the past, we've gotten farm and home gift cards, and then the community's been great. We'll get area gift cards, and we package them, and it's been a great fundraiser. I think this is our 3rd year of doing this raffle. We also, I'm always taunting this, but or I should say bragging. The grants we've been operating, and everything, all the improvements we've done out there is mainly through the grants. The Howard Jackson Family Trust, the Grace Bott Miller Foundation, and the Keokuk Area Community Foundation. So far, and also the Lee County charitable funds. Total so far that the club has received over $62,500 in grants just from these 4 grant. I think that's really good. The community has been amazingly supportive to us. So it's been really, it's been way above what I ever expected to happen to the club. Right now we're working towards building an office building, and it'll be kind of a combination office building, meeting room. We did get the cold storage building done. It houses our equipment, but now we want to build an office building and a meeting room. I know one issue we have is getting water to the site. I know you guys are working on with the soccer club group to bring soccer fields back there. And I don't know how many people now know that the high school is wanting to do a trail around Joyce Park, or through the facilities, through the timber, for cross country. I came to the city, the Joyce Park Commission meeting last week, and that's another discussion. So what I'm wondering is, I'm asking the council, I know it's almost budget time, if we could get a fire hydrant back there, because I know we talked to, Brian was at the meeting, and so was Gabe, about possibly getting a fire hydrant back there. I think that's one of his requirements. And we need a water line back there. The soccer fields are going to need water line back there. We need water back there. And so, like I say, it's budget time. I would appreciate if, the council would consider that. And last but not least, I don't know how many of you have been out there during baseball games or during one of our events. I don't know the process, but I think somebody needs to contact the DOT. I feel like we need a turning lane in the southbound lane, in the median. I think there needs to be a turning lane. We've got buses that come down through there going south, horse trailers, all the horse trailers now are large. I know when the trail, what am I trying to say? The high school, when they were here last week, they said they can have as much as 16 buses come down for the cross-country meets. And with all that traffic that's coming into Joyce Park now, and also once the soccer fields get built, there's gonna be a lot of traffic, and it's difficult to turn going south. You only have that cross median. I feel like there needs to be a turning lane. And I think the council's the one that would have the ability to ask DOT to possibly do that. And then maybe even put one on the going north in the side. But I think the median's the most important part. But that's just my 2 cents. I just feel like now that I've been there watching how much traffic, you can definitely tell. So that's all I have. If anybody's got any questions or come out and visit us when we have events. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I've been back there a few times, Devin Dade.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I've been back there a few times, and it's really nice, especially from, I think it was a year or two ago I was back there.
Mhm.
You guys have really done a lot of improvement. And I do like the new ideas that you have, especially in that turning lane. When I turn, it can get really busy. So
Yeah. And I think there's enough room there because back where it used to be Happy Homes, there's a turning lane there. And it's just right, it's right there. So I feel like there's enough room, but I'm no expert, so.
I'd like to mention that Teresa wrote those grants. So that's super exciting that she's doing that in-house for all of the grant money that they've received. I'd like to see that on a workshop though about the fire hydrants if possible, just if we can make note about that and potentially invite the soccer club and maybe the high school to see how we can help all of them or maybe how we work together and collaborate to make that, it's a really nice area and I'm excited that it's getting developed.
Yeah, it's been underutilized for years, so it's nice that all of this is coming together. Because at the commission meeting last week, we told him like they were concerned with if they had 16 teams there, if there would be enough parking. And we said, well, we'll just coordinate, just like we said with the soccer. We'll coordinate together, make sure we don't have events at the same time. And back where we're at, that parking lot between soccer and the Saddle Club, the buses could park back there. So, I mean, we'll all work together, and I'm happy to see Joyce Park is growing like that. So, okay.
Thank you, Teresa.
Mhm.
Madam Mayor, esteemed council, my name is Michael Albright, 1818 Timea. I'm here tonight to represent the American Legion, Post 41, 727 Main Street. At some point in time, our single spot in front of our establishment was handicap designated. I don't know when that went away, but what is the process and procedure to implement that one single site to be handicap designated again? I'm sorry? The parking spot directly in front of the post. There's a single spot directly in front of the post itself.
Is there not a sign there?
There is
anymore?
not a sign. What appears to me, Ms. Garcia, what appears to me was there was a post there. It probably had the handicap sign on it with the 1 hour parking, but the state of Iowa, I assume, has come in and put in another post with the Highway 61 218 designation, and it appears to me that that original post has been taken out. Now, can a handicap sign be put affixed to that state of Iowa post?
I don't see why that would be a problem. You have to have handicap parking especially for the facility that you have. That should be installing a sign.
We do not have any handicap parking. We have a
Yeah.
large parking spot, but we do not literally have a handicap parking space directly in front of our venue.
Do we have those signs, Brian?
We do have the signs. I would have to check on why that would have been taken down. Pam and I'll look at the ordinance because it probably was designated that if it was on Main Street. So we'd have to look to see why it was taken down. I don't recall anybody asking for it to be taken down.
Well, Director, what I'm seeing is 4th, 5th, and 6th intersections all have a spot designated.
Right.
7th, our block 700 and 800, which is where the apartment building is on the odd side, is not. Coming down the other side, coming eastbound from the 1300 block, down to the 400
Yeah,
block.
they usually,
Almost
every block has that last spot.
correct.
The
There's
last-
only one
the
or
last
two.
parking stalls are designated.
There's only
handicap.
one or two on the eastbound side that do not have that
And
designation.
it could be that somebody just took that sign
Well,
down without
that's quite, in Keokuk,
out
the
notifying
hell
the
you
city,
say?
out notifying the city. So we'll definitely look into that for you.
Okay, all right. That's it. Thank you,
Thank you,
folks. I
Mike.
appreciate your time.
We'll make sure
Thank
that gets done.
you, ma'am.
We'll make sure that gets looked into, make sure it gets done. Anybody else?
Good evening. Name's Drake Custer. I raised my family at 1821 Fairlane, and I also have the privilege of representing the hardworking members of Teamsters 238 that work for the city. I'm here tonight to speak in favor of the item before you tonight regarding a market adjustment for certified officers for a couple of reasons. One, the police department is currently at a critical level of staffing to the point where if we continue to have losses in that department, we're going to have issues protecting this city. The other piece of that, when you look at the current wage rate within the city compared to the other 10 communities of similar size, Keokuk is 11 out of 11 when it comes to certified officer pay. A 10% increase to their salary would only put them at 8 or 9 in that list of 11. So we're not talking about some seismic shift in where we rank amongst other communities, but we are talking about retaining staff, which is extremely critical in an area like this. I obviously appreciate this city's approach to parity when it comes to these groups. However, we don't have the same problem amongst other groups that we do with this one when it comes to the number of openings that exist and the lack of certified applicants. So a number of other positions that you're trying to fill within the city at least have applicants, whereas the PD does not. So I ask you to seriously consider that and to avoid any unintended consequences to the rest of the department. In my opinion, failing to adequately fund the department is the same as defunding the department. Thank you.
Thank you, Drake. Anybody else? Okay, let's move on to item number 6. The consent agenda. Minutes of the regular city council meeting of November 7th, 2024. Cash receipts and treasurer's report for October 2024. Resignation of John Shields from the Veterans Memorial Commission effective immediately. Resignation of Becky Crenshaw and Donna Peevler from the Historic Preservation Commission effective immediately. Appointment of Victor McCunis to the Historic Preservation Commission fulfilling a term to expire September 1st, 2025. Appointment of Sarah Mackey to the Rampart Pavilion Commission fulfilling a term to expire October 22nd, 2026. Special event permit for Alicia Colas, Christmas Treasure Market, Keokuk Union Depot, December 14th and 15th, 2024, and a motion to pay the bills and transfers listed in registers number 5439 through 5441. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda, including the consent agenda?
So move.
Do we have any discussion?
I had a quick question. With the Christmas Treasure Market, what was the reasoning requiring the special use permit? Because I didn't really see anything stick out when looking at that application.
I believe the only reason is because it's city-owned property.
But isn't that just handled by the depot? They work with the depot. We don't do special event permits for every event at the depot.
No. I don't know if she contacted anybody down at City Hall, but she filled one out, so we approved it.
Okay.
I would guess she probably contacted Annette, and Annette just had her fill one out.
Okay. I was just
I don't
curious.
think, if I recall, I don't think they're serving alcohol or anything at the.
No,
event,
they're
so-
not. And they're not closing any roads or anything, which is normally what we see with those. And just historically, we don't get these requests for every event
Right.
at the depot. So I was curious what the reasoning was. Thank you.
Any more questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7, motion to approve the initial reading of an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Keokuk, Iowa by amending provisions pertaining to the residency of sworn police officers. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Do we have any discussion?
Can we have Zeth come up and kind of recap from his words on why he's asking for this?
So in regards to this particular ordinance, we're asking to lift the state line, well, lift the residency requirement altogether, just to make things easy. As we discussed before, if somebody wants to travel to Keokuk to work, I think we should allow them to do that with our current staffing levels. That strategy has worked out successfully for Quincy Police Department down in Illinois. I know they allow people from Missouri to come over, as well as some departments in the Quad Cities and out on the west side of the state near Omaha. So it's not necessarily a new strategy if you border other states. I think that will help us a little bit. I don't know that we're going to get an influx of 25 qualified candidates by any means. But if we're able to get 1 or 2 people that live near our border to look at us as a possible employment option, then that would be very helpful. Specifically Missouri, their cost of living is significantly lower in the northeast part of the state, as opposed to their pay is lower, their cost of living is lower. If they were to work in Keokuk, that would be a way for them to artificially raise their living wage, so that they may really consider us. Again, doesn't mean that we will get an influx of qualified candidates, but I do expect that it will result in a bigger applicant pool.
Thank you, Zeth. To assist in officer recruitment, the passage of this amendment into ordinance 2.96.060 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Keokuk, Iowa, will remove all restrictions related to the residency of sworn police officers employed by the City of Keokuk. This strategy was discussed at length during the workshop on 11/7/24. There is no budget consideration related to the ordinance. Any more discussion?
Is this? Okay. Well, this, it says, the ordinance now says so many miles from Keokuk. Is that true? Okay, well, will we do this? That, I mean, just make the circle 10 miles and include Iowa or Missouri and Illinois? Is that the way it'll be?
The current ordinance allows for a 45-minute response time as measured by GPS, something similar to Google or Google Maps or whatever. So it's a 45-minute response time currently. That hasn't been extremely successful. We have hired 1 person outside of our old restriction, which was 10 air miles. So it's had minimal success, the 45 miles. No, this ordinance would just completely alleviate any restriction and allow people that want to work in Keokuk to travel to work in Keokuk. I think what you'll find is that would police itself. I don't think somebody that lives 10 minutes away from Quincy is probably going to choose to work in Keokuk if they're looking to get into law enforcement when Quincy's right there. I think generally that will police itself.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? Then I'll need a roll call.
I have a question. What bearing is this going to have if it is approved to the rest of the departments in the city?
I believe it's written to be specific for the police department only.
Okay, where does that come into fairness for the rest of the employees?
Every employee is allowed a variance they can come to the council and ask for a residency variance that's in the code.
Thank you.
I need a roll call.
Crenshaw,
Aye.
Walker,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Hackley,
Nay.
Dade,
Aye.
Andrews,
Aye.
Tillman,
Aye.
Bryant,
Aye.
Greenwald,
Aye.
8-1.
Do I have a motion to waive the second and third reading for this ordinance?
So move. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, no, I need a roll call.
Crenshaw,
No.
Walker,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Hackley,
No.
Dade,
Aye.
Andrews,
Aye.
Tillman,
Aye.
Bryant,
Nay.
Greenwald,
Nay.
5-4.
So now I need a motion to.
That does not pass. 6
What's it?
votes are
It's an
required.
ordinance, okay, yeah. Okay, item number 8. Consider resolution approving a 5-year capital improvement program for the Keokuk Municipal Airport for the fiscal year 2026 through 2030. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Attached is a proposal of the 5-year airport capital improvement program for the Keokuk Municipal Airport submitted by McClure for the fiscal years of 2026 to 2030. Do I have any discussion?
I had a question just to make sure I'm looking at this correctly. The local amounts listed for each year would be what the city would pay, what we would need to budget for that department, correct?
Yes, if we choose to do the fiscal year project, then that would be our match monies.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item number 9, consider resolution approving the purchase of 32 loungers for the Keokuk Aquatic Center. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Erica Barrett submitted a grant to the Golden Oak Society on behalf of the Keokuk Parks Foundation for funding to purchase 21 new loungers for the Keokuk Aquatic Center. Currently, there are 57 loungers, which were purchased when the new aquatic center opened in the summer of 2009 and are well past their lifespan, as the average warranty for this type of chair is 5 years. The Golden Oak Society awarded the grant funding in the amount of $6,000, which is enough to purchase 25 loungers. There are monies available in the Park Department budget to replace the remaining 32 chairs for $7,520. If the order is placed with the grant-funded chairs, a discount will apply and there will be no charge for the shipping. The chairs will be durable, rust-resistant, and have the ability to support the needs for both adults and children. Do I have any more discussion?
Was the park board was okay with this?
All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. Item number 10, consider a resolution requesting Lee County supervisors to assign tax sale certificates to the city of Keokuk. 1016 Blondo and 718 Concert and 129 North 7th Streets are vacant lots that abut properties owned by the City of Keokuk or the Keokuk Housing Initiative. The Housing Committee has targeted these lots for their development for various types of housing, such as veterans' homes. In exchange for this tax certificate, the city agrees to go through the redemption process to obtain a treasurer's deed. After this process, the city can move forward in offering the lots for development. Do we have any discussion?
Is there any cost associated with this process?
There will be attorney fees to go through the redemption
There will
process.
be.
Yes. And there's a $10 fee for that we pay to the Lee County, a processing fee.
How much do you estimate that will be, or how much have you seen it cost in the past?
The attorney's fees, there really should not be that much paperwork. I honestly don't know because I've never went through a redemption process with the actual attorneys. I can't imagine it would be more than $500, which, we have it budgeted for attorney fees in our budgeting under professional fees. So, we can cover the cost with that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item number 11, consider resolution seeking requests for proposals for rehabilitation of properties owned by the city of Keokuk. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
City of Keokuk received a home rehabilitation block grant pilot program through Iowa Finance Authority in the amount of $600,000. These funds are being used for single-family rehabs, a few rental properties, and to rehabilitate 1016 Blondo and 120 North 9th Street. The city took ownership of these properties through the Iowa Code 657A.10B, abandoned properties with hopes to save structures. 1012 Blondo is very large brick single-family dwelling that is in poor condition, but we feel it is structurally sound and can be rehabilitated. We would like to see this property converted to a two-family dwelling. 120 North 9th is in poor condition, but also structurally sound. This property will need a significant amount of work to be livable. The grant funding that is being offered will make it feasible for a developer to rehabilitate these structures. The developer may sell or rent the structures out to income-eligible families. This is for a 15-year period. Do we have any discussion?
So the city of Keokuk actually received the grant, I believe it was in 2023. I'm thinking there's probably been 7 single-family rehabs for a total of $302,555. The $200,000 and the $50,000 for the Blondo and the North 9th Street. And then there's $154,545 left for a couple rental properties that will be rehabbed. So there was a local match from the city of Keokuk, which was $150,000. So that's just being paid out of TIF funds. And I don't know, we'll be sending the request for proposals out to developers. Anyone that's interested in filling them out, they can contact us and we'll get them the information. And the 15-year thing, so if IFA has, if you get a certain amount of money, like I think it was below 40,000, you had to have an affordability period of 5 years. So this is going over the 40,000. There was several different structures, but this one will go over the 40,000. So your affordability period will be 15 years, which the city will have to get some sort of each year a report from the whomever owns it to make sure that they're still in the eligibility of the affordability part of it.
Any more questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Item number 12, consider resolution approving a one-time market adjustment to all certified personnel salaries within the Keokuk Police Department. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to have that table.
Do I have a second?
And can I say why? One, we just voted on the property, or going into Illinois and Missouri, and that's going to affect how many people are applying for jobs. And so you're wanting to give a 10% raise, right?
Mhm.
So if there may be more people coming in because we need more people is why we're giving the 10% raise. So I think that should be approved or denied before we accept this, approve this. One thing, and the other one, by giving a 10% raise, what's going to stop Mount Pleasant, Fort Madison, Burlington, and voting them a raise, and we're going to be in the same boat? That's my opinion.
Yes, sir.
Hello again. What the ordinance might do by changing the residency is one thing. What it will do, we don't know. We are struggling now. By, just for example, and I respect the decision of the council to not waive the second and third reading of the ordinance. But what that has done, just to show kind of the effects of that, our hiring process is not something that happens in 2 weeks. So by pushing that back another 4 weeks from tonight, I can't advertise until that passes. By the time people apply, they might say, "Oh, well, I'm not physically ready yet. I need a month to pass the test." We'll be lucky to get even those applicants in the spring academy, which is 16 weeks of training, 12 weeks on the back end for the FTO process to alleviate the city of liability to make sure that our people are trained. If we're operating on what ifs, I would ask that you operate on the other side of the what if. What if it doesn't work? What if we don't get more applicants? We can always say, which would be a good problem to have, we have 20 qualified people that have applied. History shows us that that's probably not going to be the case. We have hired 4 people in the last 4 years. You know, so we are risking losing the people we have now.
You don't have a lot of confidence in going into Illinois, Missouri.
As I said earlier, I think that we will get additional applicants. I don't know that they will be qualified. We have a stringent process that we go through.
Tell me your opinion about the 10% raise. I mean, just like I said, these other towns can just raise theirs back to 10% right where we started. I mean, we don't know they're going to do that, but that could happen.
Right,
And probably will.
With all respect, that's what the market is. The market determines value. We are at the bottom of the market. To give the example we talked about earlier, you call a plumber, there's water all over your floor, right?
Yeah.
You don't say, you know, the plumber says, "Hey, you need to fix that. That thing's leaking. You're going to flood your house." You don't say, let me go try some other stuff. Let me do some other. We've done the other stuff. It's time to fix the pipe.
Maybe we should have worked on the pipe a month ago.
I agree.
I do think the good point of it is that I remember I was on the council about 4 years before this term, and I was on the safety committee. And this was an issue then. And it was brought to the table then, both the issues that they're having. And I remember I was on the opposite side of the fence and saying, no, I think we can do better and have a more strategic plan when it comes to recruiting. At this point, listening to Zest's plan, also the things that they're doing now, how I'm on the other side of the fence of saying, okay, we kicked the can as far as we can down the road. And at this point, the city needs to give them the tools that they're asking, because, I do have a wife that's on the police department.
No,
I also run the Talbot House. So I deal with the undercurrent of the crime. of the DUIs. And I can tell you that when we are short-staffed, they know. And when I say they, I mean the people that are out committing the crimes. So, and then, so I say that if we're not appropriately staffed, and let's say if we don't do this and we lose people, then me as a citizen, I'm not going to be okay with saying that we're going to lose different kind of calls that the police officers do now to make sure that our community stays safe and have a good response time.
But I think we're looking at it from the wrong side. We have had workshops, we have had public safety meetings. This is not just about attracting people because I'm going to be the one who sees the glass as half empty. There's a good chance with that raise and the residency that we won't hire 7 for over a decade. I mean, that's the statistics of it. I don't know that all of you are as aware, even with the 10%, there's chances that the people we're trying to retain. This is about retainment, being proactive and not reactive. They still have options. We're telling you that in the market, that puts them at number 8. That means there's still close local options for them to go and get higher wages. I mean, and I'm someone who has fought for raises for all departments. Okay, I mean, I care about all of the people in this city, so it's not favoritism. It's not, I think we're looking at it wrong. If you post a job for streets or somewhere else, you are getting more than one applicant, and they're showing up. That's not happening here.
And they're getting hired.
Yeah, and they're getting hired.
I understand, Ms. Cackley, I understand you mentioned fairness and, I'm empathetic to that. But what's not fair is the expectations of my guys now.
I'll speak to that for a minute too. There's black and white for a police officer job and an 8 to 5 job. None of the other city employees, except for the fire department, are asked to go work 12 hours a day and also potentially put your life in danger, all because you pulled over somebody that you don't know. I fully support that we need to take care of all of our employees, but when you start lacking on your public safety, which is your fire and your police department, those across the board are going to be the most important part of any city, because if you lose those two, everything else fails.
So are you saying we should give the raise to the fire department too?
No, we're not pitting departments. We should not be pitting departments against each other. This is not about who works the hardest and who's there all the time. I know street guys who have been out on the weekend and at nighttime they will answer. This is not about who works the hardest. Park guys who are risking their lives cutting down the trees that are falling on them. This is not about that. This is about the police department, and you have guys right now who cannot take a day off because there's no one to cover. That is the problem.
Can we get any help? Like, does the school officer have to be in the school? Is that a thing?
I have assigned Officer Dade to assist some calls when we are shorthanded. That is part of the strategy to alleviate overtime. Myself and Assistant Chief Whitaker have covered shifts. I've worked midnight weekends. That's not what this position is supposed to do, but I'm doing it, and I'm okay with that. I'll give my guys what they need, and my women, sorry. I'll give everything that I can. But if we're talking worst case scenario on your side of things, Mr. Andrews, worst case scenario is we get a flood of applicants and we're staffed. That's not bad. That's good. And if there's budget considerations, once we get up to 4 or 5 officers hired, then let's address it then. Because that's when we start hitting that number that's budgeted for now. Why do we have to nix the whole thing? Let's talk about it then.
Okay, so at the present time, we have a motion to table. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 No.
No.
All those opposed?
No.
No.
Get that?
May I say a few things?
It does not pass, right? Okay, so the table fell. So now we are back to the actual motion. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We already had that. You didn't?
No,
Okay,
we didn't.
All right, thank you.
We didn't. Okay, to assist the officer retention and recruitment, I am requesting a one-time market adjustment to all the certified personnel salaries within the police department of 10%. Our current staffing level allows for the adjustment without expanding more than the budgeted amount for the salary and benefits in the fiscal year 24-25. The actual cost indicated below reflects the cost after the 10% adjustment. And those numbers are amount budgeted $2,499,708. Actual cost $2,160,879.82, and that is under budget at $338,828.18. Do I have any more discussion?
Yes. Of the 11 cities that were compared, it was mentioned that Keokuk had the lowest wage for an entry-level police officer. Per my research, Keokuk was next to the lowest for a median income of $47,571. The lowest rate was Fairfield with $44,277. That's per resident. One above us is Fort Madison with $48,944. The one statistic that can't be overlooked is the percent of poverty level in this town, which is, I believe it to be a generational poverty of 19.3%. 1/5 of our population is at the poverty level or below. That leaves the rest of the population to finance the operations of the city. The last market adjustment, which was, how is it referred to, final? One-time market adjustment came in July 1st of 2020. That was a 6% asking, with the going into the new contract of a 3% raise. I believe this year's percentage of raise was 5%. Is that not correct? So if we give an additional 10%, that's giving a total of 15% increase. I think we have to consider that we saw this same scenario play out in recent years at the county level. I know there were other extenuating circumstances that caused the county to go into straits as far as their budget is concerned, but the way many departments, and I remember, I have a poor time of calculating time and looking up old agendas and stuff, but it was when I was on the other side of the podium there, and departments were asked to cut back to bare bones, and you transferred money from one department to another to be able to make it feasible to carry on the operations of the city. I hesitate at being put into position to do that again. The numbers look good with a 300,000+ left over for this budget year. That's not looking ahead. to where we're going to be at another point in time. Um, I just, the last thing, I guess, I've been told that we have 93 full-time city employees. If 17 employees are getting a 10% raise, I have a difficult time justifying looking in the face of those other 76 employees and saying, it's not saying it, but it's going to come off as they're not worthy. And I have a real issue with that. I think and I'm very sympathetic to your situation with all of the overtime, but I did some calculations. I know money's not the solution to everything, but somebody at the beginning level, it's 12-hour shift, right? Is making $437, and anybody that's farther along in seniority, et cetera, is getting more than that per diem. I don't know, I'm just very conflicted. I'm done.
I do have a question, Dorothy. What do we do when people leave? Because that will happen quicker than it affecting the budgeted amount that's already there. Just a true question, because crime is not going down. I just don't know what we do if we even lost 3 more officers. What do we do?
Without.
How? Safely, without being sued.
It's all speculation, and there really is no way to
Exactly,
answer that
exactly.
question truthfully.
What if?
Can I comment on rebut a few of the things you said, Ms. Cackley? You mentioned a 12-hour shift and what those guys are getting paid per shift. Our officers work 2,184 hours a year. That's 4 hours more than most people. Let me rephrase that. They're scheduled for 2,184 hours a year. Right now, they're working a lot more. That is 4 hours more per week or per pay period. So you're looking at 104 more hours per year. So to break it down to a 12-hour shift and say they're getting $400 and some a day, we work more hours throughout the year. As far as what went on at the county level, this doesn't even get us to where the county's at pay-wise. It just doesn't. The market adjustment in 2020, yes, we made that market adjustment. What that shows is we made that market adjustment and we're still the lowest paid. So that highlights how severely undercompensated we were compared to other towns our size. As far as the poverty level goes, I agree. We have a lot of poverty. It has been proven time and time again that with poverty comes crime. That means that our crime is higher in this area due to the poverty, which again highlights the need for police officers. You mentioned being asked to cut back to bare bones. We're past bare bones. And not because of cuts, but we're operating past bare bones. So we've been there. What I'm asking for is the money that is budgeted for, to utilize that to compensate the people that are there working all this time and to draw some people in. If we have to revisit the budget issue, once we get closer to the number that's actually budgeted for, let's revisit it then. But right now, this is doing us no good. And if we lose more people, I don't I don't want to get into that. I'm asking you, I chose my words wisely last week when I said I'm requesting because I wanted to put some emphasis on it because it's important. It needs addressed now.
Okay, so we had a workshop on this, and we've had a lot of information tonight, and we've talked, we went through, and it was requested a table, that did not go through. So we have a first and a second, and I'm going to ask for a roll call.
Crenshaw,
Aye.
Walker,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Cackley,
Nay.
Dade,
Aye.
Andrews,
Yay.
Tillman,
Aye.
Bryant,
Aye.
Greenwald,
Aye.
7-2.
With that, motion passes. Item number 13, council liaison reports. Do we have any tonight? Item number 14, staff reports. Anybody over there? No? Item number 15, new business. Item number 16, I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Let's go home.